Welcome back. Some of you may have seen the first video that was done a little bit ago about Pavis Pearls. It's an endeavor that I've been encouraged to pick up and make videos from years of written blogs, newsletters that were, yes, in print paper that I've done since been started in the mortgage business, yes, 47 years ago. I've been asked why I named it Pavis Pearls. One, it's unique, like me, like all the pearls we have. I like the way it sounded. And if you recall from my earlier blog, pearls are a fascinating event that happens. From something that was an irritant or an unplanned situation, it turns into a beautiful gem with time and patience from its host. Isn't that true of all of us? A little time and patience can turn us into something we least expect. Well, I'm not saying all of us are irritants. Well, at least most of the time. I know if you ask my husband, I could be a little irritating sometimes, but we're not going to talk about that. But we all need polishing, growth, mentoring, and time. Yes, lots of time to refine our thoughts, our abilities, our experiences, our wisdom, and the ability to know how to share those things. So I want to share some of what has been in my life, the process or the refinement and the growth that I've had with you. So this is something that I'm excited to do. I do love talking, if you ask anyone that knows me, because I've been blessed to have wonderful mentors, wonderful people involved in my life in many positive ways. Some may not have been as positive as I would wanted, but they have shaped me and made me who I am and helped me make the choices that I might not have thought about or otherwise known about. I want to share some of these experiences, things I've learned and things I've seen, so that hopefully they can benefit others or maybe just give you a good laugh. I'm known for that too. It's been a goal of mine to create and find self-awareness about my surroundings, about others, about people I've met, and yet people I'm going to meet or going to see. How can we have a positive interaction with each other? How can we help each other grow on our journeys and hopefully brighten our day? Your day, my day, maybe a stranger's day. Encourage others to share and give back what's been given to me and is always in my interactions, in my thoughts, in my process. But I think that's everyone. I've run into people that have the same thoughts. How can I give back? And speaking of some of those things that we're looking in the next topic that I'm posting about, the event that happened to my husband on the last video that I did regarding our broken garage door and how it was less than a positive experience at the beginning. I mentioned that I would update you after I contacted the company to see what they would say about whether or not we would get the veteran discount. Well, I'm pleased to let you know that the owner was quick to respond to me, was very apologetic, and said that he apologized for his staff lack of understanding because it was a new program for them and a new offering. So they didn't understand exactly how to present a situation they were unaware of. Well, he was quick to give me the 5% discount, credited my credit card, and said that he would take the feedback and hopefully use it to train his staff a little bit better and appreciated my reaching out to him. But I think that's what we all like, right? A positive outcome. I know we don't always do things correctly here. I'm sure you don't at your business. Sometimes mistakes happen, but it's how we respond to them. And the nice conversation that we had, one business to another, one person to another, tells me that great people are out there just looking to do the right thing when something happens that's misunderstood or not done the way you thought it was going to be. So what I've learned from all of this is how we react. I could have been angry. I could have sent a nasty email. I could have posted. I could have told you the name, but I didn't. I waited. I gave a little grace. I gave him time to explain, and I listened. Not always known to listen sometimes, but we do all have to stop a moment, even in the frustration, even when somebody is a little scratchy to us, we have to listen because then you're grateful. I am very grateful right now that I did wait and I gave the gentleman an opportunity to do what was right, and he did. So some of these experiences happen a lot and some happen maybe not so frequently, but they all happen to all of us, and what we share is really important. Seems odd, doesn't it, that I'm grateful for a less than positive experience, that one, or maybe my health. I've had a health issue most people can't see or don't know about, and I'm grateful for it. It could be worse. I could have cancer. I could have something different, but I don't. And so I'm grateful for what happens and what has happened because it helps us. It helps us learn. It helps us grow, helps us realize what's really important, the true nature of who we are and what our values are. I think of things differently every day because of what happened to me. And that's a gratitude that I wouldn't have had if it hadn't happened. So, how do we respond to people when things happen? Are we defensive? Are we angry? Are we condescending? I know today that seems to happen quite frequently, especially with this medium that I'm on video, TikTok, Instagram. I can't even think of all of them. And I know everyone out there's kind of chuckling, especially my grandchildren. But there are so many ways to hide behind words instead of thinking about what you're saying and how it influences or how it affects someone else. So, are you grateful for what you say? Are you trying to make someone else feel grateful? Or are you trying to get your pound of flesh? What we can do is sit back and reflect. Listen. Listen to your own words. Read your own words. Say them out loud. If you said them out loud before you typed them, would you say them? Would you print them? Maybe so, maybe not. Do we have to be right about everything, or do we have to compromise and hear the other side because maybe what we thought was right isn't? I know my husband says I'm always right. Well, I have to laugh out loud a little bit because he's right. No, really, he's not. I'm not always right. But he and I both know that as much as we tease about it, that it's important to recognize that the truth is we can laugh at each other's mistakes. We can laugh at each other's errors. I don't laugh when we're in a bit of an argument over something, but later on, what's important is we come to the understanding that nothing is more important than our relationship with each other or our relationship with God. So there's no sense in getting too upset over it. Take a moment, breathe, step back, and recognize what's really important. So, how do you respond when something doesn't go right? How do you respond when it does go right? Are you so grateful you tell someone? Or if it doesn't go right, do you scream in some poor waitress's face because you didn't get the right meal? Is it her fault? Maybe it was, maybe it's not. But if you step back and put yourself in someone else's shoes, how would you feel if that was done to you? In moments like that, I hope I stop, but I turn to my faith when it's very serious, especially so that I can process what I need and where I need to respond to. There's so much violence out there in the news that some of the good things that are out there gets overshadowed, and we don't always see them. Do you respond to that violence in like kind? Do you retreat into yourself and hold it in? That's not good either. Do you harbor unhappiness? Or do you turn that around and say, well, that moment I can't do anything about it, but maybe later on I can do a word of encouragement. Maybe someone is stressed over it. But in the end, don't we all come back to the same place? What's really important now in this moment in our lives? Is it that bombing that happened somewhere? I can pray about it. I can be sorry that it happened, but I can't live my life around it. Do I live my life around what other people are doing that's so horrible that I can't even imagine to each other? You know, bullying is rampant. There's a lot of things out there that we don't like. How do we respond? Do we respond as one of the crowd that takes up the gauntlet of being angry, and or do we step back and go, how do we make a difference? How do we choose a different path? You get involved. We live who we are. We live with what we have, and our surroundings are us. Where we live, what we're doing may not have originally been our choice, but it's our choice in that moment. What impact do we make on others? Do we make the impact that we're known out there as being someone that has a reputation for always being the negative person on a comment on, a survey? Do you take that moment to really nail in what's ugly? Or do you take that moment to lift someone's day? What legacy do you leave behind? Yes, we all leave one. It might not be large, like some of the large name famous people that leave lots of money philanthropically, which is great. It's wonderful. We all use those things and those products. But we, on the smaller level, can leave behind a world of treasures, just like the pearls. We can leave them behind for others to find, for others to read, for others to think back and reminisce on. I'm sure you all have stories you could tell me about your family, the imprint that it's made on you. We all get imprinted. Sometimes at the beginning, it's not a great imprint, but they're like footprints in the sand, aren't they? So we walk along the shore, and being here from the lake, and we've got a huge Lake Michigan, and you can walk for miles. And then The footprints are there for miles back, and then all of a sudden they're not. They're gone. They're washed away. I don't look at it that way. I don't think they're washed away. I think they're washed out to sea to join all of the other footprints before me. And there have been many footprints before me. And I like to think of them all as standing out there looking at the water in the peaceful sunset, going, what imprint have I left on someone? What imprint can I leave as I'm walking forward to leave more footprints? So the footprints that came before me and the ones I'm going to leave for my grandchildren, I like to think of all of those things, just like the stories that my grandmother told me, the things that are hard to believe with how we live and how she lived, how lucky she thought it was to be able to ride her one horse they owned to school on the worst snowstorms so she didn't have to walk with her shoes that had holes in them because she only got one pair a year if she was lucky. I think about that and it's hard to imagine. Seems like a story. But she was grateful. She was grateful because she got to go to school and she would have walked miles if she had to, just so she could go. And she was grateful for a bootlegger father. Yep, a bootlegger, and her mother was very staunch Christian woman. That's a couple that I would have liked to have met, but the stories are true and they make you think. So you can't really imagine about things like that. It's like you see something on TV. But then I think about my own stories that my 16 plus grandchildren and 2 great grandchildren hear from me. Yeah, the numbers are correct. I do have that many, and I'm looking for more, so go ahead and send them my way. I'm always open to children. I am blessed and grateful to have them in my life, and I am more than happy to share my stories with them. They can all tell you any number of stories I've told. But when you think about it, my stories to them seem impossible. I didn't have internet. I didn't have cell phones. I didn't have computers. We didn't even have a fax machine when I first started working. I thought that was the best thing ever to see a fax come over and quickly copy it so it didn't erase in front of you like invisible ink. A lifetime of memories that I stand here thinking, how did I work with a pager and no cell phone? I worked with handshakes, and my word is my bond. If you remember that from my last one, you work in a different manner. But they're all memories and all things that happened to us. But what I do know is I'm grateful for my cell phone now. I don't know how I would get by without it. Well, I guess I would, but it allows me to connect. My phone, my computer, I can connect with you in ways I never thought I could. I was shocked at the number of views that were out there and that people were interested because I watch these same things. So why wouldn't someone want to hear something else that could make a positive impact on their day? But without our phones, our internet, videos, Chaz here helping me with these things that I am not quite certain how they all work, but I know that it reaches all over the world. It reaches wherever we want to send it. So it makes me wonder, what are my children and my grandchildren going to tell their children? I've heard of flying cars. They're sort of there, but maybe that's what we're all going to show up to work in. Well, maybe I'm not working by then, but they might be working. Maybe they're going to have teleporters or some other strange thing that we used to see in the B movies way back when that were black and white, and you'd think that that rocket ship by a string really was going to the moon. Well, they really do go to the moon. So it makes me wonder, what are we going to be grateful for in the future? I think the same things we're grateful for now. I'm grateful for my phone. Yeah, I really am. I couldn't imagine life without it, but even more so, I couldn't imagine life without my faith, without my family, without my work family. We spend so much time at work. Do you really get to know your coworkers? They are your family. Choose to live your life close to those that you love and that you want to spend time with. I don't get to see all of my grandchildren. Some of them are in another state, but I do because I make my presence known through written cards, yes, and they love them. They love a written piece of mail more than anyone. I like getting mail, but we don't do it very often. But more than that, I love the videos, getting on to see them, even when they say, do I have to? And my son says, yes, say hello to your Grammy. But I will love watching a baseball game for my grandson that I couldn't make because I can't fly to Arizona just for a baseball game, but I can by video. I love music concerts and things that I would never be able to afford to go to, but I think all of you love the same things. All these things would be missed if we didn't have these, and they were missed in the past. You had black and white still photos that maybe they weren't blurry so that you could see a partial face. So yes, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my health issues because I am healthy in the biggest sense of the word. I am happy healthy. I'm positive healthy. I am mentally healthy because I try not to let all of those other things influence the way I feel and how I get up each day. They teach me to slow down and realize what's truly important. The joy of children, my grandchildren, friends that are always there whenever I need them, and most of all, my family that gave me a foundation to start my life on a path that I couldn't even imagine. I never thought I would be in the mortgage business. Who grows up to say, I want to do mortgages for a living and I know all the bits and pieces? No one, because it's not up there and known that way. But I'm grateful for it. God put me on this path. He put me here behind this desk, and I love to share that. I want others to feel excited about what they're doing. So whether it was stocking shelves when I was 17 at a ladies' store, or doing cashiering a little bit, through my life, or volunteering, or working here and helping hopefully mentor others, I love it. I am grateful. And I would love to hear your comments and your gratitude and the things in your life that have made a difference. Because gratitude is a state of mind. It's what we think, it's how we portray it. And you might have to take 5 to put the gratitude back in, but do it. Don't let your life get out of control. Control it. Control your attitude. And when it's tough, to be grateful. Take a few minutes to write down the things as you're looking at them that are positive in your life. And I think that you'll all see that gratitude can really change your day and the rest of your life. Until next time.